Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to play another game of 60 Seconds Reatomized. So, we are trying to get the 3 different achievements that we're needing because, here, I'll show you. We are almost done with all the achievements. We have been trying for a while now. So, we've got to do all the 3 game modes and all 3 difficulties. We've gotten all 3 scavenges. We've gotten little boy difficulty on Apocalypse. We need to do Fat Man and Sarbama, and we also need to do survival. I'm going to go ahead and do survival, and I'll start with little boy, because that should complete that achievement, and I'll try to do Fat Man as well if I've got time. It just depends. So let's go ahead and get started with the little boy, and just hopefully we start off good. Hopefully we start off with some good stuff, and see what kind of ending we can get. Preferably map, cards, and radio. We got the map and the radio. This is a good start. It's such a good start. Of course, it's on little boy difficulty, so it's going to be. Alright, let's see. All of us made it into the shelter just a second before the blast. That was a close one. As long as we're all together. Hang on, I'm going to turn my audio up a little bit, because I want to make sure. Well, I guess. Yeah, this will be fine. There we go. Alright, that was a close one. As long as we're all together, we can make it work down here. We remember hearing canned soup is healthy for you. Our shelves are full of cans. We'll eat from cans. We'll sleep on cans. We'll even talk to cans. Some of us already do. Plenty of water means we don't have to worry about that for some time. This is the best stocked shelter we've ever seen. We've never seen another one, but we're sure this is a good amount of supplies. Alright, so we don't have to do any food or water until the 5th day. Then we do water, and then on the 10th day we do food and water, and then we just kind of go from there with the every other day thing. We're going to start with the radio. I'm going to see if we can't just get the government exit, and I'm going to send them with the suitcase and a couple of things, and hopefully we can get a deck of cards, either in trade or something. Do we have to take care of ourselves, or will someone come to our rescue? Life is hard for us right now, but Dolores is in good mood today. We hope it'll stay this way. Alright, so everybody's fine. We're going to send somebody out for sure. We woke up to a dripping sound today and noticed that there's something leaking from the pipes. That green liquid looks innocent enough, even after it ate through the table and the chair and the floor. Patching up that pipe is probably a good idea. Alright, so this is one of the ones where the daughter can become a mutant, which would be really, really good for us. But it could also make people sick, which would be really, really bad for us. I'm just going to do the mask, because we're not going for longevity. We are going to just survive. That's the goal. Make sure everybody's healthy and such. And we got to keep our mask. Good deal. Ha! Problem solved. No leak, no mess. Back to our tidy little shelter. Alright, we're on day 3. We're going to send. We'll send the boy with suitcase, checker pieces. Yeah, honestly, we'll just do checker pieces because we don't really need to use the suitcase. Alright, we'll do that. Send him out with the checker pieces. It'll give us some supplies for sure. And I'm hoping to get a deck of cards. I don't know how to pull that off. I don't have my little chart in front of me, or I'd go ahead and read that and figure out what the best option is. We don't need to feed or water anybody today. It's difficult to keep our spirits up in this situation. We do hope this whole mess will be over soon, or else we might end up in a place much worse than this cozy little shelter. Very cozy little shelter. Alright, there's a knock at the door. How crazy would it be if I got the cat, like, right now? We're trying our best to remain calm. The situation we're in is far from normal, and we might never get used to it. We hope help comes soon. Alright, we're on the 5th day, so everybody needs water. So we'll go ahead and throw that to them. We had the most curious visitors today, one of them making the sound of a galloping horse using a pair of rocks and hitting them against each other, while his companion was pretending to ride said horse. They claimed to be very important quest to seek some magical cup, only they lost their way in the wasteland. They asked permission to have a quick look at our map to determine their whereabouts. We're going to go ahead and use the map. I believe they give us stuff, but I can't remember what. This is the Monty Python reference. When you share your map, they do something for you. Oh, lock. Nice. They seem friendly enough, so we let them have a look at our map. They said they thanked us and offered us some supplies in exchange. We graciously accepted and wished them luck on their quest. Okay, nobody needs anything until day 10. We know very little about what's going on outside. It'd be a good idea to find out more. Maybe discover if anyone else made it to safety. The radio could help in this situation. Alright, we'll use the radio. Hopefully we get the government thing started, and hopefully we'll get a phone call, because either the government or the twins with the survivalist camp would work. We're able to get a weak signal tap into the government's emergency announcement service, and guess what? Great news, the fallout outside is mostly gone. It should be much safer to travel on the surface now. Okay, everybody's hungry. That's fine for now. Dolores has not been very talkative lately. Should we chat with her and find out what's wrong? Yeah. Yep. We want everybody to stay sane, stay healthy, and just survive. That is it. Get a good exit. Talking to Dolores helped resolve some of her issues and doubts. She feels better now. Happy for you, Dolores. Day 8, they're fine. Mutated rodents are attacking our supplies. We're not sure if they're rats, feral bunnies, or just mutated hamsters. All of these options are pretty grim. We could use spare ammunition or something else to get rid of every one of those pests. Let's use the axe. I don't think it breaks too often when doing that. The gun can though. So, all right. Our cans are saved. Too bad for the hairy mutant. Guess we're still on top of the food chain. Good for us. Day 9. We're good for now. There we are, thinking it's a day like no other, when Mary Jane confronted us. She said it's her birthday, but she doesn't want a gift. Not in this situation, not in this economy. Well, she's too young to be giving orders around here, so she's getting a birthday present, and that's that. We just need to pick something out. Let's give her some bug spray. Let's give her some bug spray. What child doesn't love bug spray? Okay, so we didn't get much. Kids these days are all about those spray deodorants. The anti-bug spray probably works the same way. Mary Jane was so excited. We were afraid for Timmy, but he came back from the wasteland and is safe with us now. Our expedition went directly to visit the primary school. Not for education, of course. Oh no. We were desperate for supplies, and the school was our best chance of getting them. The biology class had an aquarium. The fish had died since no one fed them. The aquarium water could still be drinkable. There was enough for a few bottles. When we were passing through the ruins of a bar, we ran into a soup vending machine. We couldn't find any spare change, so we decided to try prying it with the checker pieces. It worked. Good deal. Okay, so everybody should be wanting food and water now. And we have quite a bit of both. We're going to send another expedition. We can keep sitting on our backsides here in this tiny little bunker, or we can start thinking about ways about getting away as far as possible from this radioactive wasteland. Who would have thought the Reds would ruin such a lovely neighborhood? We could do it on our own, the escaping part, not the ruining part, of course. However, there might be someone out there who can help us. Let's keep our eyes and ears open. All right, we'll do the radio again because we need to do the government escape. All right. Oh, and by the way, make sure you subscribe if you enjoy the content. Make sure you subscribe. This beeping drives me crazy. I'm going to wait. But yeah, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, like the video. I usually say it at the end, but it is something that really helps the channel. So, you know, if you enjoy the content. If you like long form, if you go to sleep to it, if you keep it in the background, you know, that's what I do. I like long form stuff when I'm like just playing games and such. Good news. The government made a radio broadcast about extracting survivors from our area. The announcer asked everyone to listen and wait a while longer and expect further communication in a few days. We'll be out of here soon. Guden. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, one of my cats was scratching at the door. My cats are like dogs. We let them in and out. And so they'll scratch at the door when they're ready to come inside. Okay, we got starvation. Let's just go ahead and give them something. We got plenty of food. We're going to send the daughter this time. I guess... Man, we don't have much to send them with. We'll just send the checker pieces again. But yeah. Yep. Man, lately it's been so busy for me. I've been remodeling the home and stuff, and it's been wearing me down a bit. Super fun stuff, but my arms are killing me from painting and such. Let's see. Today they're a little bit better, though, because I had a couple days where I just chilled. Timmy noticed his old telescope in a pile of rubble on the other side of the street. He got really excited about stargazing again. After all, the night sky has very few things that still look about the same after the blast. Should we let Timmy out to stare pointlessly? Yeah, go ahead. Let him out. Let's see what happens. I've only done this one like a couple times, so I don't know. I don't think I've gotten any positive thing from it, so I'm kind of curious if something positive does come from it. It'd be cool. Timmy returned in the morning, tired but very happy. He says he saw a spaceship flying by, one with the American flag on it. Surely that can't be true. He's probably making things up. Time to grow up, Timmy. Let him know. Alright, so everybody's fine with their food and such. We have situations on our hand. There's a group approaching our shelter, and they don't seem like the occasional friendly scavengers you run into. Not at all. They look like they're out for blood. Or cans. Probably cans. This is a terrible time for humanity if canned soup is enough to turn us into monsters. Anyway, we need to defend ourselves. It's kind of crazy that I'm getting this early. Okay, we may need the gun for the government thing. So we'll use the lock. Honestly, we'll use the bug spray. Because I don't think there's anything that needs the bug spray. But there's nothing that needs the lock either, and the lock always works well. So let's do that. Let's do the lock. You ain't getting into nothing, fool. You ain't getting in here. We didn't think that small padlock would stop them, but it turned out to be just enough to discourage the unknown attackers. It seems that they gave this whole break-in a fair shot, but ultimately gave up and left. Too bad that padlock is in no shape to be used again. We need to think of other ways to fight off bandits and other soup-hungry barbarians. So, I don't think we're going to send anybody out anymore. Okay, dehydration. Okay, so everybody needs water tomorrow. Our ammunition is missing. There's no way it was stolen, but it has to be here somewhere. We need to find it. We're good on that. Don't have a flashlight. That's the twins with the survival camp. So we're going to go ahead and do that just to better our odds of escaping. Oh, man, I should have kept the checkerboard to be safe because of the twins. They sometimes need that. It was too dark to find those tiny bullets without a flashlight. They are lost. Or they aren't lost. They're technically still in the shelter. Technically. Okay, so everybody gets water today. Ring, ring. There we were, thinking we'd never hear a telephone signal again, when suddenly a phone starts ringing from somewhere outside. We figured it's a phone booth across the street. Should someone go answer it? Yeah, we'll send the mom. Go answer the phone. Let's see if we can't get one of these two. So she's sick. She brought the checkerboard back, so that's good. We're going to keep it here for now on. I don't think she really brought much. When we answered the phone, we could clearly hear a gasp of relief from the caller. They introduced themselves as survivors from a nearby town of Hill Valley. We had started exchanging information when the call was cut short. Something must have gone wrong on their side. We hoped they would get back to us. Nothing made us happier than the sight of Mary Jane returning to the shelter from the surface. We found our way to a nearby hospital, which, despite heavy structural damage, is still standing. The site wasn't pretty, though. What used to be inside the hospital is now all over the place. Whatever survived the blast wave, anyways. The canteen had a respectable supply of tomato soup. It looks like this was the only thing they fed their patients. Now we're 100% sure it's healthy. There were plenty of bottles of liquid in one of the wards. Peroxide or not, water is water, and beggars can't be choosers. When exploring the wastelands, we noticed a box of rifle ammunition sitting atop of a high statue. Climbing that thing wasn't an option, so we decided to play it smart. We made a slingshot from the junk laying around and shot at the box using checker pieces as ammo. The last expedition got us thinking maybe we could just drive away from this nightmare somehow. Of course, most of the automobiles available are completely burnt out, but if we find a solid base and scavenge enough parts, perhaps we could build a vehicle of our own. We better keep an eye out for those future expeditions. Actually, the vehicle is like a really easy way to escape. It's just a matter of having the food or the water. And I know Sarbama is going to be like the hardest one to do. So it's really just survive a few expeditions and then use the food. And so, I mean, this would be the first one if we can find the vehicle. We need to do it, I think, 5 times. And then we could try to aim for the Sarabama once we get, like, the vehicle ready. Because that's going to be the hardest to survive, is the most difficult mode. But we'll figure it out. No big deal. We may need the med kit, so I'm not giving it to her. If she dies, she dies. We're going to give all of them food tomorrow, except for the daughter. We're not going to do an expedition. Timmy has been sitting there staring into space. Is something wrong? Maybe it would be a good time to have a little chat with him. Yeah. Because we're about to be bundled up in here for a little bit. We're not going anywhere. We're not going nowhere. Alright, let's see. Even a word or two may be enough to brighten someone's mood. Timmy seems to be better now. Alright, the rest is just updates on their health and stuff. Food, food, food. Where's she at? I think it's if you feed them like 3 times. We've tried this before. It doesn't always work. But if you feed them every day for no reason, it'll heal them. We're not doing that. We were admiring the radioactive landscape when we saw a young woman dressed in ragged camo clothing. She had a nasty-looking rifle, but she held us in a polite enough manner. She claims to be a hunter tracking a big mutated spider. She ran out of ammo and told us that if we were able to help her out, she would pay us back in a while. Yeah. Give her some bullets. Give her some bullets, and let's see. We agreed, mostly because we're kind of curious on what she's planning to do with that spider once she catches it. She doesn't want to say. Maybe one day we'll find out. Alright. I'm guessing food. Alright, we're going to give her food and water. And tomorrow we need to feed everybody else. We're not doing expedition. What's that glowing in your pocket, Timmy? Oh no, mutated ants. Their terrifying little mandibles almost gave Dolores a heart attack. She wants them out, but Timmy says in the beginning of the atomic ant farm. It's the beginning of an atomic ant farm. One of them has to have it their way, but who? We'll pick the mom. Because I think if you keep them, you could get sick or something like that. I don't want to risk all that. I don't like them getting sick. Like the daughter, because it's difficult to manage. On the topic of an atomic ant farm, Dolores put her foot down several times. She swatted and stomped furiously with a look of glee on her face until all the insects were dealt with. Timmy was mortified. Okay. Alright, we're just going to give everybody everything again. This is day 2 of giving her some food. I'm going to keep doing it for a couple more days and see if it helps. Timmy has been talking about going out to the surface to explore, run, dance, and play with whatever burnt remains can be found. We would gladly jump at the chance to get him some fresh air, though we're worried the exposure to radioactivity out there will effectively ruin his fun by turning him into a terrifying mutant. Should we let Timmy out? Yes, because I want them to find the cards, because we may need that for the radio, for the government. To get to the government. Gotta give it to the government. When we consented, Timmy almost hit his head on the ceiling. We figured that if he doesn't encounter any savages, mutated beasts, or killer mimes, he should be fine and back soon enough. Man, when I read Mime, it made me think of Mr. Mime. And I gotta tell you, I saw the new game, the, whatchamacallit, Pokepedia. I want that game so bad. It looks so fun to me. I love Pokemon. I've been probably the biggest Pokemon fan since, oh man, forever. It is my jam. But there is no possible way ever I would spend that money to get a Switch 2 just to play that game. There's no other games I really care about on there. So it's literally a $900 game to me. And that is such a painful thing. I want that game so bad. I don't know. I'll probably get to play it in 5 years whenever people start selling theirs to like game stores and stuff. I'll just go buy a used one for cheap. Maybe. I don't know. With the price being so high, I don't think they'll ever be cheap. It feels like they're always going to be at least 500 plus. I'm trying to get one for $100. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. It's too expensive. That is a crazy thing to buy. And I'm seeing so many people get it. I'm like, how? How are you doing that? Like, oh gosh, what job do you have? I want your job. It's crazy. This is just, I don't know. It's such a beautiful thing. So if there's any billionaire that comes across this video, let me know. I'd love a Switch too. God, I don't know. I'll get one day. One of these days. It'll probably be in a couple years. I'm sure they're gonna like drop and sell, or used ones are gonna show up for like $100, $150. I'll get one then, and I'll play some Pokepedia. I'll be behind, but I'm okay with that. I just want to build an island of Pokemon. Today, the music from the radio stopped abruptly, and instead we got to listen to transmission from the army. We're almost halfway to the door when they started talking about evacuation, but it turns out there's something we need to do first. All survivors were asked to leave a sign that we're alive somewhere in the area. The exact location given and geographical coordinates. We need a map to establish where that is. Cool. We got the map. We're good on that. And my favorite Pokemon's Ivysaur. I'm kind of curious what your guys is. If any of you guys enjoy Pokemon, let me know in the comments. If you, what your favorite Pokemon is, at least. I think everybody likes Pokemon to some extent. But not everybody has a favorite if they're not into it, you know? A quick glance at the map gave us all the information we required. We left a message in a bottle. But yeah, I love Pokemon, man. It is so fun. Only one of my kiddos enjoys Pokemon, and he goes to school every day. He tries to get early because him and all his friends hang out in the front of the school and they trade their Pokemon cards. And today, crazy enough, somebody stole one of his freaking Pokemon cards. I dropped him off, or I let him walk to school, and then I realized he forgot something, so I went ahead and walked up there, and I found him, and they were trading their cards and stuff. And this older boy came up with he has a tiny binder, my son does, and it's like just this little flip book or whatever, and it's got a bunch of pages. He can kind of sleeve them so he can take new cards to school, and it keeps them nice and neat. And this older boy gave him his thing back and said, "Hey, my little brother just took this from you, and he stole the Mew out of it." And I went to get the little boy, like, "Hey, give him his card back," obviously. And the kid ran into the school. And it's not like I could chase him to the school. I wouldn't. It'd be awkward anyways. So, I was like looking for a teacher. There's no teacher because it's early in the morning. All there was the officer that kind of greets the kids and lets them in and all that. And, we told the police officer, but I doubt he's going to do anything. So, I don't know. I guess I got to call the school today and let them know because I know the boy's name and what grade he's in because my kid knows him. So, but yeah, I don't know. Wild situation. I don't know. Who does that? Just super weird. Stole one card out of his little binder and took off with it. It's like, buddy. And the thing that sucks is because my son, he buys singles. We have a card shop up here that we go to, and they have like a big box of holographic cards, and they're all for $0.25. They sell them for $0.25 a piece. So you can just go through this whole box, and my son will like get $1 or $2 because sometimes he goes to work with me and he helps me out. And here, let's give them a water. I want to read it to you guys, but I want to finish the story though. But yeah, they have like a big box of holographic cards, and you can go through it. My son will get $1 when he goes to work with me and stuff. He'll hold the door for people or help people or whatever, and they'll give him $1. Thanks, bud. One of those things. So he'll take it to the card shop, and he'll get it broken into 4 quarters and pick 4 holographics and buy them. And they also have a wall. So this is one of the holographics that he bought out of the box, and it's like it's only $0.25, but it's like I don't know, because he trades for really anything. He wouldn't care if he took it to school. Then he's willing to trade it. Is how he sees it. So it's like. The kid had cards. Odds are, if the kid just asked my kid, like, "Hey, you want to trade for that Mew?" It would have been fine. But the fact that I don't know, it's just super weird. I guess because they're in like 2nd grade, so I don't know. I don't know. At that age, it's a lot. I don't know. Like I can't hate on the kid because he's not old enough to kind of know better. I would say he should, but there's just at that age, it kind of varies with their, I would say, maturity or the right or wrong kind of feeling. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. No hard feelings towards him. I just wish I could have got that card back. I don't think my son will get it back, so I'll probably just take him up with some change and let him go buy a couple more holographics or something. But it just kind of sucks it happened. It sucks it happened. It's a weird situation. But it's a lesson for my kid, though. I got to let him know, like, hey, buddy, keep your stuff close. Like, don't just let people walk off with it because that'll happen every time. There's adults that do that kind of stuff, that sneak cards. I watch those shorts of like people at conventions like sneaking cards. I'm like, dude, come on, man. It's weird. But it says, today we met a bunch of people dressed in what looked like Halloween doctor outfits. They claimed to be a field hospital moving place to place and attempting to help those hurt by the hazards of the wasteland. Problem is, some of their supplies got eaten by something that looked like a Sasquatch. They're asking us if we have any spare hydrogen peroxide. Yeah, we'll give them some water. Give him some water. But yeah, I don't know. I'll take him up and have him replace his card at some point because I feel bad because that sucks. But it is what it is. We asked them for their doctor license, but all of them claimed they left him in another pair of trousers. We didn't dare ask if it was just one pair. We gave them a water bottle and wished them a good journey and better luck with the trousers. I had a friend who used to call his pants trousers. It's very odd. But I guess. Is it true that people in like Europe, that's what they call it? They just call them the trousers? Is that what they call them? Okay, so the cat. I don't really want the cat because it would take me a while to get that one completed. But the cat one might be our only option. We'll see. Meow. Meow. Little Sherikov. As soon as the door closed behind the trader, the bag started to violently shake, emitting screeching, hellish sounds. Terrified, we backed up against the wall. When the beast finally escaped, it turned out to just be an angry house cat. The feline gave us a menacing look and promptly sat down in the corner to clean itself. Its color says Sherikov. Is that its name? All right, let's see. Dehydration. Okay, so we'll give water, 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 and we'll go ahead and give him food. Okay, let's just do that. Timmy was bored out of his mind and won't leave Ted alone. First, he wanted to play tag, and now it's hide and seek, which are both terrible ideas for a small shelter like this. Ted is in a bad mood and just wants to be left alone, but Timmy isn't giving up. How about charades? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do some charades. Okay. Who's knocking at the door? This really wasn't the best matchup. One moment, Ted and Timmy were calmly writing down riddles. The next, they were screaming at each other, accusing the other of cheating. How do you even cheat at this game? It's a fair question. That's a fair question. Hungry, starvation, sick. Okay. As we are about to start our book club discussion on the only book we've all read, the phone book, we were interrupted by rapid knocking at the door. We found out it was a group of refugees who survived the blast just like we did. They were doing much worse than us and begged us to provide them with any water, food, or medical supplies they could spare. All right, we're going to give them water. Hang on. We're going to give them water because I think we'll need the food more than anything. Okay, I gotta exit this thing. Hang on. I'm getting messages and such. Let's see. There we go. All right, let's see where we are. All right, so our visitors had problems finding enough words to express their gratitude. Many tears were shed, smiles and hugs exchanged, and they wished us all the best. It's a great feeling to be able to help someone out. They left soon after to seek shelter in the ruins of our town. We hope they make it out there. All right, there's nothing. I want to give Mary Jane the health kit, but odds are I give it to her, and then she turns around. It turns around, and I need it to escape. We found an anonymous note next to our sheltered door. Whoever wrote it requests that we send one representative in a meeting tonight in a set location. That person must come unarmed. This bit worries us, but the author assures us he or she is friendly and doesn't mean to hurt us. We are going to send someone to check it out. Let's send the dad in the pumpkin mask, of course. Let's send the dad in the pumpkin mask. Alright, it's true. It's all true. There really are others just like us. We arrived in the rendezvous unarmed and on time, and we were greeted by a friendly-looking group of survivors. They're being led by twins, a brother and sister, who seem to be friendly enough. They asked us some questions and promised to stay in touch. Okay, he's hungry. We can feed him tomorrow. The cat's been staring intently at our supplies all day. Its eyes are piercing. You can practically feel the tension rising in our shelter, as well as a sense of danger. This must be how cats communicate that it's time to eat. I didn't know the cat would start just requesting food. Okay. Alright, sorry, my wife. I forgot that I have to go to the store. She sent this side-eye emoji at me because I forgot, and she reminded me, and I was like, oh, yeah. She's like, you said you were ghost. I was like, oh yeah, my bad, my bad. This little devil utterly devoured the whole can in less than 60 seconds and left nothing behind, not even a drop. After that, it took a long, peaceful nap. At least it won't bother us for a while now. All right, we're good on that. Dehydrated, drink tomorrow, and he needs food today. Let's see. Sherikoff is still a fresh addition to our little family, so we need to keep an eye on it. And believe it or not, just today we noticed something else on its collar. It seemed to be a metal plate with an address on it, and it's not far. Should we take a quick trip to see what's there? Sure. All right. Before we reached the end of our street, we were stopped by two men wearing dark coats and the stylish hats. They rushed towards the cat to pick him up, saying they'd been looking for him for a while now. Supposedly, Sherikoff belongs to an old lady who's rather fond of it and misses the little guy dearly. We shrugged and went back to our shelter. The cat didn't seem to care, so why should we? Good thing we didn't get too attached in the last few days. All right, let's see. Both, I guess. Just dehydration. And he's fine. The boredom and silence are overwhelming. Too bad we don't have a TV to keep us occupied, but maybe we could take advantage of some of our supplies and pretend they're props in a movie set. Yeah, we'll use the suitcase. I may need to go on an expedition. Ted and Mary Jane were reminded of their regular cinema trips, so they were happy to improvise scenes for the rest of us. Ted was Marilyn and Mary Jane was the director, ordering him around. She was really strict about the artistic vision, but Ted managed to deliver a performance so convincing we forgot for a moment that he isn't a lovely, slim, blonde Hollywood star. That's fair. Okay, they're all fine. And he's dehydrated, sure. We're going to do an expedition. We need to. We're definitely not trading our radio. No. When we heard a knock at the door this morning, we held our breath in fear, but soon heard children's voices coming from outside. We decided to open up, and it turned out the voices belonged to a pair of Girl Scouts. They used to sell cookies, but they have branched out now, and they offer items too. Smart girls. I'm waiting for the government. They should have another request from us, or for us. Did somebody else get sick? No, just the daughter. Okay. Although the girls were very brave to walk around the wasteland like that, sadly they didn't have anything of interest to us, so we declined their offer. They wished us a nice day and left. Alright. Fatigued hungry. Fatigued starvation. We'll give her food tomorrow. Fatigued starvation. We'll give him food tomorrow. We're going to send the mother... Hang on. What do we have that we could take? We need to keep the checkers. Honestly, we don't have really anything we could take. Aside from, I mean, we can take the gas mask just to help her from getting sick. We'll do that. Bum 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 bum. Hello, Sherikoff. To our surprise, we found Sherikoff back in the shelter this morning. We're not exactly sure why or how it came back. Is it our good care it appreciates, our kind hearts, optimism, or just our stockpile of soup cans? Only time will tell. Thirsty, hungry, fatigue, starvation. Starvation, we'll give them that. Hear that? It sounds like a herd of animals are stampeding above our heads across what used to be our beautiful lawn. They are not getting away with that. Might be the perfect opportunity to get some fresh food. We'll send the daughter to go hunting. She's already sick. We don't have to risk anybody else getting sick. Hopefully she can bring back some food. She did no such thing. Too bad we never practiced sharpshooting. Every shot we fired in the direction of those animals that looked like two-headed cows was a miss. Let's hope we'll be on target next time. He's got both. She's got both. And okay, so the daughter and father need to eat and drink tomorrow. Curiosity almost killed the cat. Sherikoff found a tiny wire sticking out from the ceiling and pulled it out. Plaster and debris fell on top of our table, topped off with a big meowing furball. What is that thing, anyways? Nobody remembers it being there before. The cat might be angry if we take away the wire, so maybe it's best to leave it be. Or should we examine that wire? Let's go ahead and examine it. This will take us to the FBI people and further that quest, so we'll get some type of ending. We grabbed the cable and followed it to a rusty old truck parked in our neighbor's driveway. Upon opening the door, we were confronted with two men wearing huge headphones who looked extremely surprised to see us. They wiretapped our shelter when we were asleep, and they were listening to everything we said. We gave them hell and marched back to our bunker. That's right. Do both. We do both. We'll give him dehydration, I guess. Mary Jane is pulling Timmy's hair and calling him a radioactive poopy butt, while Timmy is furiously kicking her shins, insisting she is a mutant booger. Madness. Nobody knows what set the fight off, but one of them kids must be in the right. But which one? We'll say Timmy. I believe we've gotten stuff when we've said Timmy before, so we'll do that. Alright. Mary Jane is... Yep, see? Mary Jane is older and should know better. She was pacified, although not without a fight. Guilt-ridden, Timmy admitted that they fought because he stole his sister's harmonica. He returned it, and things are quiet once again for now. Alright. Fatigued and hungry and sick, fatigued and hungry. Alright, the military is communicating through the radio again. We're sure it was a signal to evacuate out of here, but it turns out they need our help. The speaker requested that all able citizens in the area should chop down a tree or two in the nearby park. It sounds ridiculous, but they're claiming this will make it easier for them to extract us. We never liked that old park, so let's do it already. Alright, so I should be able to give her the med kit then, because we don't need it at this point. We chopped down as many trees as we could. It wasn't much, but hopefully it'll make the difference they wanted. The next time they get in touch, it had better be from a tank parked on our lawn, or what's left of it. Our only regret is that this wood chopping business ruined our axe. That's okay. Fatigued hungry, fatigue sick hungry, fatigue starvation. Go ahead. The twin siblings contacted us again. Today they visited our humble shelter, saying they're looking for a map of the nearby area. Their plan is to find a relatively safe place for the new camp that could accommodate their whole group and anybody else who would want to move in with them. The plan of the city is... Jeez, I'm stuttering. A plan of the city would be very helpful in their situation, at least to help organize their scouting expeditions. Alright, we'll let them use the map. That'll further that one. I believe the mom is back now, so we should have a little bit more food and water. Yep. We're set on that, so we should be solid. We were happy to see them again. We quickly handed them our map and pointed out several locations that might be worth checking out. They left before it got too dark and to still get a few hours of scouting in daylight, but they said they would definitely be back again to share some news and friendly chat. We hope they find a good place. Maybe we could visit them when the camp is ready. We were glad to see Dolores come back safely from the wasteland. For all our daily bread and butter needs, we always went to the small store next to the barber's. They had the most amazing clerk who always asked us to come again. We found it intact. Most of the food on the shelves was outdated and rotten. A lot of eggs were smashed on the floor. Guess what? Soup cans didn't expire until 2015. Good for us. We found a shelf with a big old sign that read everything for 99 cents. The only thing left were bottles of water. Expensive. We window shopped nearby parking lots for a vehicle that wasn't completely burnt out. Unfortunately, we found nothing of value. Maybe future expeditions will prove more lucky. Alright, so we won't be getting any expeditions in, I don't believe. But we've got plenty of food and stuff. And we got some defense things. So maybe we can do... Let's see what we have for defense. So we got a gun. We got bug spray. We got harmonica. Let's go ahead and do an expedition and see if we can't get the car started. Goodness. And hopefully... we can get that, either the Panzer or the Frosty thing quest started so that in like 5 expeditions we can plan for the SAR bomber to escape on that. Every new smell attacks our noses in this little shelter instantly. There isn't much we can miss. So when a single brick fell from the wall, revealing a tight opening, our senses were immediately invaded by a terrible stench. We should probably check on that hole and see what the source of that smell is. Sure. Hang on, I need to fix this. Boom. And boom. Alright. We looked into the hole, fearing something might come at us with claws, fangs, or other mutated sharp body parts, but nothing happened. Instead, we found a dead rat who was trying to break into a can of soup. He failed miserably. We have a feeling we'll be luckier than him, so we confiscated it. We gave the rat a proper burial in an empty can. He deserves that much. R.I.P. rat. You will be missed. Dehydration, starvation, dehydration, dehydration. We're feeling pretty optimistic. Let's go ahead and send the sun out with the gas mask. And let's hope we can further that before the ending comes. Fatigued, hungry, Dehydration tomorrow. Starvation tomorrow. Sure, times are hard, but there isn't much need to shave anymore. But beards are still not welcome in this house. Any means of cutting a beard is acceptable. Say, that axe looks quite sharp. Maybe it could help with some beard trimming. What axe? What axe, brother? You broke it when you chopped down trees, heathen. Oh, did Timmy run away? Oh, that's Mary Jane's gone. Okay, you know, you know, nah. Mary Jane has been caught sneaking out under the cover of what? Dolores was furious when Mary Jane revealed she was going on a date with some bandit boy. She met him during the expedition. Mary Jane asked for a chance to contact her date via written note to apologize for not showing up. Should she be allowed? Sure, she's already gone. Send her on her way. What if it bugs it, makes her come back? That'd be crazy. Dolores agreed, and an apology note would be polite in these circumstances. Mary Jane wrote one and dropped it off, but came back red-faced furious. She saw that bandit boy outside, holding hands with some bandit girl? Ooh. Mary Jane was so hurt, even Dolores took her side. Oh, hang on. Starvation. They're fine. The agents who were spying on us are now at the door and want to explain themselves. Yeah. Let's hear them out. See what they got to say. Alright, they were agents, real live secret agents on a government mission. We saw their identity cards briefly. They were listening in on us. It was the cat they were interested in. They made a request too, wanting us to aid them with some of their top secret missions in the future. If we do that, they promise they will extract us to a government safe house full of supplies and donuts. Hopefully they come back soon with more information. Sure. Dehydration and starvation. And then there are only so many things you can do in a tiny bunker. So we thought, hey, why not play some games? They're not just for kids, you know. Yes, that is true. I got a little bit of heartburn, goodness. We played hide and seek. The longest round we were able to play for lasted for around 10 seconds, and that was only because the lights went out for a moment. He's just fatigued and hungry. She is everything but. All right. When conducting our daily supply count, we noticed that a can of soup was missing. We were absolutely sure it was there yesterday. This can only mean one thing. We have a soup thief amongst us. Among us. Now we just need to figure out who the culprit is. One of my boys just discovered Among Us for the first time. He's been playing that. It's so funny. It's so funny. Whatever happened to our precious soup, we'll let it go. One can isn't worth the drama and arguments that would ensue, and we really don't have enough evidence to figure out who did it. Maybe we just made a mistake when counting. We'll never know for sure, but if someone did steal it, they'd be taking their secret to the grave. We were so afraid for Timmy, but he came back from the wasteland and is safe with us now. We were surprised to find out that the metro station wasn't exactly abandoned. It's inhabited by a group that uses bullets as currency. They were armed and not overly friendly, but they're no bandits either. They allowed us to take a look around as long as we didn't touch any of their stuff. We wouldn't pass any opportunity to get some more water, so when we found the toilets, we did not hesitate to fill as many bottles as we could with that murky, irritated water. What a treat. The metro station traders took a special liking to our clothing. We were always proud of our dress sense, but in our opinion, during the apocalypse, you never say no to a package of fresh ammunition. Also, you could probably manage just fine without your undergarments, so we quickly came to an agreement. It might look paranoid, but we think someone followed us. Let's just hope this doesn't happen again. Didn't get anything for the vehicle, which kind of isn't cool. Alright, let's see. We're not going to send anybody else out. Ted and Dolores argue about everything lately. Today's a heated argument about who should empty the buckets in the corner. Both of them swear it's not their turn. Somebody has to cave in and do it, but who? Let the dad do it. Get it done. Get it done, father. Dolores admitted it was her turn to take out the bucket, but said she was feeling a little under the weather. Ted felt bad for her and agreed to do it this time. In return, Dolores... what'd she say? In return, Dolores promised to laugh at Ted's jokes the whole evening. Heartwarming. Sorry. Let's see. He is fatigued, hungry, thirsty. Fatigued, tired, hungry. And he's starvation. Sorry if I keep stepping away to message. And I probably won't cut it out because it's just like a few seconds here and there. It's just I swear my schedule's been so busy lately. Like I'm fighting for time to make sure I get stuff out for you guys. Because if I was playing by myself, I just play and kind of do my stuff on the side. But man, it has been I have been swamped lately. It is crazy. We're not going to send anybody else out. There was another military announcement on the radio. The soldiers are nearby and ordering a single person from each survivor group to meet them and outline the group's situation. This is a bit odd. We do hope they mean well. It's still pretty much the only thing we can do, so it's probably worth sending someone over. Let's send the dad. Let's send the dad. All right, we made it to the meeting. The serious-looking soldier asked us a few questions, made some notes, and told us they would get back to us. We can only hope that it's a good impression. Too bad our Sunday best didn't make it through the explosion. Give him both. And give him dehydration. We got plenty for now, so we should be all right. Good news from our friends. The siblings visited today to inform us that their camp is now done. They do have a few concerns, though, mostly the children. Their idea of fun is running around the radioactive wasteland and possibly getting eaten by mutant cockroaches in the process. Do we have any spare toys we could give them in order to keep the kids entertained without risking their lives? We'll do the checkerboards because the harmonica helps to defend our base, our bunker. So, even playing with an incomplete set of checkers is a better choice for the kids than playing hide and seek in a radioactive wasteland. Or maybe the other way around. The group was grateful, and we're sure that the children will be too. We hope to see our friends soon, again soon, and find out more about their new campfire. Alright, no. Using a high-tech setup involving paper cups and yards of string, the agents rang in with our next top-secret mission that will surely land us in the VIP bunker very soon. They want us to go on a successful expedition, write down what we saw in the journal. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Oh, wait. No! Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I didn't click on a person. Rather not commit to anything dangerous right now. The agents are disappointed, but they'll probably be knocking in soon. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? No, you guys. What? Alright, Timmy claimed he couldn't sleep last night due to Ted's loud, incessant snoring. Ted angrily retaliated by making quips about the size of Timmy's ears, which enraged Timmy even more. He's desperate for a solution. Let's put him in the suitcase. Man, I can't believe I did that. Ugh. It's guaranteed like 6 or 7 days now for sure. Oh, man. Little Timmy squeezed most perfectly into our old suitcase where he dozed off. Whatever noises Ted might have been making, the sturdy suitcase proved almost soundproof, and Timmy finally got a good sleep. Despite the sleeping relatively well, Timmy is a bit sore. Might have something to do with the suitcase's contents that Timmy slept on. Could have at least emptied it first. Yeah. Okay, that's crazy I did that. I didn't click on a person, I just clicked the arrow like a goober. Our last expedition brought news of a vehicle parked down the street. It sure looked unique, but we never got close enough to get a good look. We're almost certain it's not a bandit trap. Perhaps we should send somebody over to check it out. Send the kid. We got to get this part done for sure. Because we want to start the vehicle thing. Alright, and that one's done. Cool. A shocking discovery. It was a dirty ice cream truck. It was a little crispy around the edges, and it was missing wheels and some other crucial parts, but its seats were fairly comfortable. Wouldn't it be amazing to just drive away and leave the radioactive hell behind us? That radioactive heck. Get both. And do water. Okay. Life in a shelter can really put a strain on personal relationships. Privacy is forgotten, impossible concept now. So even if you want to clear the air, well, even the most private conversations are guaranteed unwanted audience. Dolores and Ted could really use a quiet moment to talk in peace. How about a picnic in the nearby park? Sounds good. Alright, let's see what we got. Nothing like a romantic outing to a ruined post-apocalyptic park, complete with giggling and whispering sweet nothings over a shared can of tomato soup. At least that's how Ted remembers it. Dolores is unwilling to comment, but they both feel better today. So clearly whatever happened has lifted their spirits. Starvation. Timmy doesn't have nothing. There's a man on our doorstep and he wants to be our friend. At least that's what he says. He looks harmless, Although he seems to have acquired an extra pair of arms as a result of some weird mutation, he assures us he will not get us sick and asks for our help. If we could provide him and his group with some supplies, they would repay us by helping us fight off the next raiding party that comes our way. Should we accept it? Yes. We'll give him... hungry... thirsty... okay, we'll give him food. Or we'll give him water. Because we got 2 hungries. Those will turn into starvation, so we'll need food. So that's good. We can do the expedition now without any worry. Or no, wait, no, that's the raid. Dang, I wish it was the expedition. That would have been cool. Feels good to have some friends in this cruel, empty wasteland. A few of our supplies is a small price to pay when it comes to safety of your family. Alright, anybody? Alright, we're good. The agents paid us another visit to point out that we still haven't agreed to do a little renaissance for them. Completing that task will bring us even closer to living in the VIP bunker. Yes. Send the dad. Let's send the dad and hope he makes it back in a couple days. And that'll be that, I believe. Oh, I got a yawn and stretch. 1 sec. Oh, goodness. Ah, good stretch. All right. Ted left for the service. We hope he'll be back soon. I concur. I definitely concur. All right. What we initially thought was thunder turned out to be heavy knocking at the door. Someone either hates that door or is very determined to have someone answer it. Yes, open the door. Because our raids are protected, and I believe this may be the twins. No. That's not. Hang on. When we opened the door, we saw a group of heavily armed raiders. We thought we were as good as dead. Thankfully, our mutated friends kept their word. All of their extra arms proved very useful in scaring the bandits away. We thanked them for their help and waved them goodbye. They waved back with all of their limbs. That was plenty of waving. We hope everything works out for them. Okay, cool. So at least we protected ourselves. Give both. We've discussed everything we could and no one is willing to chat anymore. The silence is very disturbing. We should do something about it before we start talking to ourselves. No, because that's a tinker thing. That's not a government thing. That is a tinkering thing, not a government thing. This may be the twins. There's nothing here. Maybe if we try really hard, we can hear the neighbors in their shelter. Oh, wait. Hang on. What do they need? Nothing and nothing. All right. Woke up to the sound of... we woke up to the sound of banging on the door. Someone has been at it like there's no tomorrow, in a manner of speaking. That might be true. Shall we open the door? Yes. Maybe this one's the twins? Yep. Enola Gay. Win a game in every mode on Little Boy difficulty. We got one of those achievements. Now, I think the next one we're going to do will be survival on the big man or fat man difficulty. So this same mode, but on fat man difficulty. Because I want to say, excuse me, and I may be wrong, but I think I've done Apocalypse on Fat Man before. I think I've beaten it on Fat Man. If not, at least I'll be done with survival and I can start the Apocalypse one and do that one. But I'm like 90% sure I've done it. So if I finish a survival on him, but I that's why I wanted to do it this way, because I was like, maybe I haven't, but you know, worst case, like I don't want to do it twice on Apocalypse when I don't have to, right? The recon mission was a risky business. We had to visit neighborhoods that were dicey, even if the best of times. The area was full of mutated cats and dogs fighting each other in gangs, all of them armed to the teeth. We barely made it out of there alive, but the agents seemed to appreciate our efforts. Let's hope these missions were actually worth it. Our bucket is just about due for an upgrade, and we're expecting a government shelter to have an excellent bathroom, maybe even a hot tub. Safe at last. The military came to our rescue and took us away from this hellhole. It was our home for a little while, but we can't say we'll miss that tiny shelter. We don't know if there's a future, if our future is bright, but if it is, let's just hope it's not more nukes lighting up the sky. Okay, cool. Yeah, took us 54 days for that one. That was not that bad. Not that bad. We survived. All right. We are good to go. That one's finished. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'll be doing another one here soon. And I hope you have a good night. I hope tomorrow's even better. Subscribe, comment, like, all that fun stuff. It really does help my channel. If you don't want to subscribe, just liking the video or leaving a comment really does help. It'll help the algorithm push it to more people so I can get some views. If I get some views, I can get more people that might want to join the channel. My ultimate goal, getting the channel monetized so I can do it full-time. If I can do it full-time, I could do this daily. I could drop an episode every day and hopefully do the games you really enjoy. I love roguelikes. That's my main goal. But I do enjoy other things like creepy pastas. I enjoy playing new games that come out, like that High Guard game. I played that. Um, I like multiplayer games like Repo, Lethal Company, things like that. So if you enjoy any of that stuff, let me know in the comments if you want to see something specific. I'm trying to keep up with the requests, so I've gotten a few requests that I'm trying to catch up with. One of them is to play Turmoil, which I haven't played since I started this channel, but somebody wanted to see more of it, so I'm going to try to get some of that in. Cultist Simulator. That one is a really difficult game, and they asked me not to look anything up, so I'm going to tough it out and figure things out. And it is a very confusing game, but it's very fun. It makes you like want to learn how the game works just so you can beat it. So I really do enjoy it. Puzzle games are kind of my jam too. So I had somebody request. What was the other? Somebody's request more of Clover Pit. He wants the golden knob. That's a crazy hard achievement, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. It's just super difficult because there's so much RNG involved. Another person requested creepypasta. There's another person requested words. Let me think. There's a few. There's a few. I got the comments and stuff that I've seen, and I check on them from time to time. So if you leave a comment, I'll respond every single time, no matter what. But anyways, I hope you had a good day. I hope tomorrow's even better, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.